at 6 o'clock on August the 17th. It's a special meeting, 2020 at 6 p.m. We're going to start with the invocation. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. And we'll go with pledge. The Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the Texas Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay, we do have a forum with Councilwoman Jimenez, Councilwoman Martinez, and Councilman Ortiz, and myself, Brian Cantu. We're going to start with a presentation. Do I have any citizens coming? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any citizens coming?
There are none.
No comments at this time, Mayor Pro Tem.
We're going to start with number 1, presentation and discussion. City attorney, excuse me. And is Mr. Garza there? Jose?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Hello, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fine, thank you. And thank you for coming, Mr. Garza, and thank you for everything you and Ms. Rodriguez are doing for us.
Honorable Mayor Pro Tem and Council, I'd like to turn the presentation over to my special counsel, Mr. Jose Garza. He is here to speak regarding item number 1 on the agenda.
Okay, that's case number CDW 1900897, the City of C.C. Gonzalez Depot versus the City of Floresville. And Court of Appeals number 04-02-00070-CD, City of Floresville versus the City of Gonzalez Depot. Go ahead, Mr. Garza.
Good evening, and thank you for inviting me to come speak with me today. This is my co-counsel, Mr. Rolando Rios, seated in the audience. And as you requested, I'm here to give you a summary of the decision from the Fourth Court of Appeals. As you'll recall, the city was sued by 4 plaintiffs asking that 3 members of the council be removed from office, that a special election be determined, that the city be enjoined from conducting business. We had a hearing on the plaintiff's motion for TRO, in which the plaintiffs succeeded in securing an order from the district judge, removing 3 members of the city council and enjoining the city from any further actions pending a special election. As your counsel, I requested a stay of that order from the Court of Appeals, which we secured, essentially an order blocking temporarily the order issued by the district judge. Last week, on Wednesday, the Fourth Court of Appeals proceeded to issue its order on our appeal of that injunction. And there are 3 things that I would like to focus the council's attention in terms of the order issued by the Court of Appeals. It is a significant victory for the city of Floresville. principal issue regarding the removal of council members from the council, the Fourth Court of Appeals issued an unambiguous, clear order stating that the plaintiffs, or appellees as they're called at the Court of Appeals, claims for declaratory and injunctive relief that attacked the city council members' right to hold office was reversed. More than just reversed, the Court of Appeals issued an order dismissing that claim. In appellate court jargon, the appellate court can render or it can remand. When it renders, it makes a final decision on the legal issue. When it remands, it sends it back to the district court to make additional findings and have additional hearings. On the issue of whether those 3 council members could be removed in that action, the Court of Appeals rendered. The Court of Appeals specifically said, we render an order dismissing the remaining appellee's claims for declaratory and injunctive relief that attack the current council member's right to hold office. So that's the first thing I wanted to point out to the council. The second thing that we challenged both at the district court and at the Court of Appeals was the right of the mayor to sue the city in her official capacity. In legal parlance, when you sue somebody, when you're an elected official and you sue somebody in your official capacity, you are suing on behalf of the city. And the Court of Appeals, again, rendered a decision. It didn't just reverse and remand, it reversed and rendered an order dismissing Mayor Gonzalez-Dibble in her official capacity from this lawsuit. So once the Court of Appeals issues what's called a mandate and sends the case back to the district court, then at that point, Mayor Gonzalez-Dibble is off as a plaintiff in this case. The third thing that was extremely important to the council was what was the Fourth Court of Appeals going to do about this very expensive injunction that essentially ordered the city council from taking any action on its responsibilities pending the outcome of this lawsuit. And on that point, again, a complete victory for the city of Floresville. The Fourth Court of Appeals, in its order, says we dissolve the temporary injunction in its entirety, not a portion of it, in its entirety. The injunction has been dissolved by the district court. Now, there may be some debate, I'm not sure why, about whether the city of Floresville won this appeal or whether the plaintiffs won some part of this appeal. But I think it's important to note that the Court of Appeals, in addition to these legal findings, determined that the plaintiffs must pay the costs of this appeal to the city of Floresville. And that's going to be a bill close to $2,000. We had to pay for the reporter's record, which is the transcript of the hearing, which was about $1,300 or $1,400. We had to pay for the city had to pay for the filing fees at the Court of Appeals, which were over $200. We had to pay the clerk for putting the record of appeal together. That was a little under $100. So all told, it's going to be close to $2,000 that the plaintiffs are going to have to reimburse the city to pay for the cost of this appeal. Now, the case, I wish I could tell you that the case was over. It's not. There are still legal issues that require a determination at the trial. As we've mentioned numerous times, we believe that the actions that the city took in moving its general election from November to May are authorized under the charter and under the Texas Election Code. That specific legal issue is still pending. There's been no determination. But think about it this way. The district court, in issuing its temporary injunction, ruled that you did not have the authority. The Court of Appeals dissolved that injunction in its entirety. The entire injunction was dissolved. So it's not an issue that I can tell you with certainty that we will prevail in the courts. Those are things that happen as the court process moves forward. But to suggest that somehow this opinion is a split decision is just not an accurate reading of the appellate court's order in this case. That's my presentation to you today on this order. And any questions that you have, I'd be glad to respond. As I said, the case is not over, and what is to follow is still up in the air about what proceedings are going to follow. We have to wait until what's called the mandate issues from the Court of Appeals. And what they do is they wait about 30 days for all the timelines to see if anybody's going to appeal to the Supreme Court or if anybody's going to ask for other motions from the Court of Appeals. They wait that time frame, and then they issue what's called a mandate. When they issue the mandate is at the point where the district court then takes hold of the case back and then determines what the process and the procedures will be from that point on. So that, in essence, is my presentation to the council tonight.
Is there any questions from the council?
Madam Mayor, may I have the floor?
Yes.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead,
Madam Mayor.
Mr.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councilman O'Keefe.
I just want to make a comment that it is a sad time for the taxpayer. The taxpayer had to pick up this bill to pay our lawyers. And it's a shame that this did not have to happen, because at the end of the day, we're still on the saddle. We're still riding high. We have never done anything illegal. We have never violated our oath. We always do what's best for the city. This group, these individuals have a habit of doing this again and again. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, especially the taxpayer, they have to pick up the bill. It is a shame. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
One more question, and the last question is that the voter, the taxpayer, have to see who's going to pay for this bill. I hope that we encourage the council and our lawyers to go after those plaintiffs and for them to pay this bill. This bill did not have to go, but they did something that just, I don't know why. I don't know why. Election time comes, they can vote on it. They can vote us out, or they can vote them out. Thank you, Madam Mayor. At this time, I yield the floor.
Thank you. Is there any more questions?
Mayor, I have a comment. I just want
Go
to
ahead.
thank our attorneys for all of the work that they put into this. We wouldn't be able to be here without your help, and so we thank you very much for everything that you do for us, for guiding us, and for always ensuring that we're following the letter of the law, which we do. I also want to thank Councilman Ortiz for his words. Yes, I agree with Councilman Ortiz. We are here, we have always followed the law, we will continue following the law, and we should not be here at this point. It's unfortunate that we are, but here we are, and we're just going to have to move forward, and we're going to keep going forward for our city, making decisions that are in the best interest of all our constituents. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms.
Mayor
Councilwoman.
I also want to make a comment. I just feel that I, as a council member, or as Councilwoman Martinez, we have been through a lot of stressful and very stressful time during all this time. And thinking that we should have never gone through this. Because I feel, as a council person, I have always tried to do the right thing. I am not corrupt, and I do not try to do anything that is illegal. Thank you.
Is there any more comments or questions from? Okay, thank you, Mr. Garza, Ms. Rodriguez, for all the work y'all done. And we'll go ahead and go into, are we going to, do we go into executive session?
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, may I request that we address new business 3A first?
Certainly, we can do that.
And if
The
so,
new business,
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I will need a motion and a second and a vote on moving that item up to number 2, please.
okay, do I have a motion to move item 3, new business?
I make a motion.
Okay, then it's, do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Unanimous.
5-0. Okay, so we're gonna go to item 3, new business A, CNA regarding proposal received from the Wilson County Election Office for the November 3rd, 2020 uniform election. Citizens' comments?
There are none,
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem, I'm going to make the motion that we table this item. I would prefer that we schedule it for our next regular scheduled meeting to have Ms. Olga Madero here in person so we can ask her questions, because I have several questions regarding the information that she sent us.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Jimenez, seconded by Mr. Ortiz. All in favor? I vote yes.
Unanimous.
5-0. Okay, now we're going back to item 2, executive session. Executive session in accordance with Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Do I have a motion? Or do I?
Yes, motion to go into executive session, we need a motion and a second and a vote, and the time.
I move that we go into executive session at this time.
Do I have a second?
We need a second.
Do I have a second?
Do we need to read the entire?
She can read the subsection on it,
Okay.
but just go ahead and we need the
Second.
motion. Go ahead, if you're gonna read it, you can read it on your motion.
I'll
Are you gonna
second.
second it?
I'll second. And it's pursuant to section 551-071 of the Texas Government Code, consultation with attorney regarding case number CDW 1900897, Cecilia Sissy Gonzalez Dipple et al. Versus the City of Floresville et al. And fourth part of appeals number 04-02-00070-CB, City of Floresville et al. Versus Cecilia Sissy Dipple et al. And the time is 6:19.
Okay, we need a vote.
All in favor?
Okay,
Okay.
was that unanimous?
Okay, the time is 6:20. And we'll go to executive session.